Now to the White House's plan to put Washington front and center in the AI race, comparing what they want to do to the Manhattan Project. You know, the research project that gave us the atomic bomb. It's called the Genesis mission, a government-wide push to fast-track AI breakthroughs in energy, science, and defense, with the Department of Energy at the center of it all. The plan unites AI research across 17 national labs and some 40,000 DOE scientists, creating one coordinated federal AI platform for the first time ever.
Here's a scary one. Two pioneers of artificial intelligence have sounded the doomsday alarm. They're warning that the extinction of humanity could be only a few years away. The authors of the best-selling book, If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies, says that as AI becomes smarter than humans, it could develop its own goals, deceive its creators, and gain power over us all. One of those authors has told a conference, unless governments act quickly, we are doomed.
I do not expect something actually smart to attack us with marching robot armies with glowing red eyes, where there could be a fun movie about us fighting them. I expect an actually smarter and uncaring entity will figure out strategies and technologies that can kill us quickly and reliably, and then kill us.
Michael Notel is an associate professor at the University of Queensland and specialises in artificial intelligence, and he joins us from Brisbane. We just heard from one of the authors of the book, If Anyone Builds It, Everyone Dies. This is scary stuff. Is humanity actually staring down the abyss?
The Trump administration is pushing to expand AI in federal scientific research. Yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order launching the Genesis mission. The plan allows Department of Energy and national labs to use AI while partnering with tech companies and universities. Supporters say it could boost research in physics, chemistry, nuclear science, and space exploration. But critics warn the move could drive up energy use and raise safety concerns if regulations are weakened.
With this pen today, President Trump signed an historic mission. This is reminiscent of the Manhattan Project that brought World War II to an early and successful end, similar to the Apollo projects that put a man on the moon in 1969. This is an all-in national effort to take the power of AI and pair it with the 40,000 outstanding scientists and engineers at our national labs to use the world's largest supercomputers to advance innovation and science, to fix our rising energy costs, to give better economic opportunities for our citizens, to make longer and healthier lives possible. Today was not incremental, Brett. It was transformative.
Sure. Well, so like in the long term, where will things end up? Long term, I don't know what long term is. Maybe it's 10, 20 years, something like that. For me, that's long term. My prediction is that work will be optional. Optional. So
we'll take that.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be like playing sports or a video game or something like that. If you want to work, in the same way, like you can go to the store and just buy some vegetables, or you could grow vegetables in your backyard. It's much harder to grow vegetables in your backyard, but some people still do it because they like growing vegetables. That will be what work is like, optional. And between now and then, there's actually a lot of work to get to that point. Mm-hmm. And I always recommend people read Ian Banks' culture books to get a sense for what a probable positive AI future is like. And interestingly, in those books, money is doesn't exist. It's kind of interesting. And my guess is, if you go out long enough, assuming there's a continued improvement in AI and robotics, which seems likely, the money will stop being relevant at some point in the future. Now, there will still be constraints on power, like electricity and mass. The fundamental physics elements will still be constraints, but I think at some point currency becomes irrelevant.
internet, even kind of the development of microchips, all of that was really subsidized or kind of spearheaded by the government. So AI, on the other hand, has really been spearheaded, developed by a handful of private sector labs. You think Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, you know, the companies whose chatbots you use. So I think the announcement yesterday is kind of a joining of forces between Silicon Valley and the government. And there's certainly a lot of chummy relationships between people in the White House AI czar David Sachs, has a very close relationship. A lot of these people were former venture capitalists in Silicon Valley. So I think there's going to be a lot more public-private partnerships. And that's one of the most exciting parts of the order, is it explicitly said that within 90 days, the Secretary of Energy, who's kind of overseeing all this, has to identify some of those opportunities for further public-private collaboration.
It is.
Emergency. Emergency. Please
I'll be right back. Welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd. And again, StreamYard. Boy, they suck. Anyway, that was just a clip. I did this video earlier. It's about a 40-minute clip, but I didn't want to play it all straight through. I wanted to jump in here and kind of give you a little preface and a little context and a little something. So anyway, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here, spending your time, money, and energy over here with me and listening to my dumb ass talk about nothing, because I'm a moron that just talks to my laptop. So I don't know where it goes from there, but it goes. And, you know, if you've been following me the last, weekish or so, you know, I've done a 4-part video series. And remember, I told you guys, remember this? I told y'all I had it somewhere, all printed. Well, I went to look for something. Well, first of all, I want to thank Christine and her husband and her sister for taking me out to eat today at Papa Do's. That was very kind, very gracious, very informative as always, quite the adventure, and I had a lot of fun. We actually got our same waiter that we had last time, which is a rarity these days. But anyway, I want to thank them for that. And she asked me for one of my old Ann LaFleur books that I self-published that actually had the comb binder on it, like this one. And I said, yeah, I still have that set for you, and but it's stashed in the garage and all that shit. So when I get home, I'll go dig for it, and when I come see you, I'll bring it to you. While digging, this popped up. So remember, I told you I had more than one, because we were talking about off the will and testament. Is it the notice of quorum? Yeah, that was one of the documents. Sworn statement of fact, appearance of error, notice of claim, will and testament, notice of quorum. Yeah. Public notice, statement of fact. Okay, yeah, I see the original that I got. That's all front and back. Yep, that was the original, and this is the original one that was given to me. And then there's the second one. The third one's not in here, but I can go find the third one. I'm pretty sure I have it over here in my pile of paperwork that has yet to be filed. But this is Bill Pittman's black card process, and one of the multiple people, I was told it was either 7 or 8 of them, but this is the number two of that group, all her paperwork, certificate of birth, and blah, 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 blah. Same stuff. So I told you I had it. There it is. And if you have been following me, hey, you know what? Is what it is. You know, I don't know why people do what they do, say what they say. And then, you know, what's even worse about all of that is that people just don't do their own homework and research on who they're listening to and what they're listening to and why they're listening to it. Because, you know, the whole bona fides behind it was my dad's a judge, former lawyer, law professor. Wow, man, those are some credentials, right? Man, God, not only did this guy practice law, not only did he officiate the law, he taught the law. And not only that, my aunt and uncle, man, they ran a bank. They know all about finance. And between the two, dad and aunt and uncle, man, I'm just this whiz kid. Those are the bona fides. And everybody fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. In fact, some poor woman just did a movie, just released it. And who were her two prominent people? Two liars. David Lester Straight and Todd Allen Duell. I can't wait to see part 2. How about you guys? Remember talking about a big sequel coming out this spring? So I was so kind and gracious enough to send her an email, and I sent her all 4 parts. You think I should send her the parts about Bonnie Straight, send her all 4 of those parts? Or how about David's website, where, in my opinion, it sure was pedophilia-ish, if that's a word. Yeah. You have to go watch that. And then he oddly looks like a Rothschild. Did y'all see that video? Anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Can't wait for the sequel. I don't know about you. I don't think I'm going to pay $17 to go see it, though. I don't even think I'm going to pay $17 to see the original Birthright movie. So if you want to go spend your money, spend your money. If you don't, hey, that's fine too. But I'm not going to tell you how to spend your time, money, and energy. That's all yours. You have your own free will. You can spend it however you want, wherever you want, with whomever you want. But you just may want to be a little bit more frugal with your time, money, and energy. Yeah, I know. It is. It's very sad. It's very sad. I mean, people are sending some of these folks, you know, I know some of you, you know, y'all go on these sites and y'all send them whatever y'all call it through the chat, you know, I don't know, gifts, presents, whatever they are. You know, I so rarely get them. I don't even know what it's called. So it is what it is. But these people just continuously send these folks money day after day after day. Tune in to get more hopium blown up their ass so they can continue to live in this daydream that they're going to be rich tomorrow. Are they going to have some special status tomorrow? It's sad. Everybody's eye is on the wrong prize. Let me try to explain this to you again. There's very few of us out here beating this drum. If you're not paying attention to what the fuck is going on, you can get ate up in the matrix. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. I was just there last Thursday. Let me explain it to you. Okay. Downtown Houston, in a highly trafficked area. House of Blues is there. I think they have Dueling Pete's pianos there. The Palm Restaurant, Morton Steakhouse. I mean, a lot of stuff going on there. And unusually, there was no place to park on the streets. So we drove around in circles, and still couldn't find a place. It was like, man, you know, we're getting close to band coming on, and let's go find a place to park. So we ended up parking at the Four Seasons. Swear, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but truth, so help me God. So we pull up to the gate. Gate opens. We go in. We don't have to take a ticket. We don't talk to anybody. Nothing. We just like kind of go in. New experience of like, dude, check this out. What do you think about this? And so we go in, and we don't know if we like should have took a ticket or what to do. So we go in, we park, and there are these QR code signs everywhere. Scan and pay, scan and pay, scan and pay. So we scanned and paid, and it was 12 hours for roughly $22. It's like, damn, man, you can't do it by the hour? Nope, one flat fee. Like, damn. So we paid it and went and enjoyed the show, came out, and golly, man, that was like leaving a professional sports game when you parked in the arena parking garage or stadium parking garage. It's just like trapped up there. But anyway, as we were leaving, you know, I read one of the signs, and it said, if you don't pay, or you're there longer than 12 hours, your car will get booted. Well, I didn't see any guy driving around in a van or a truck or a car booting vehicles, but, you know, potentiality was there, I'm sure. How that was completed, I don't know, but I have my own idea. But anyway, so we're egressing the parking garage. And as we get to the little gate, apparently some people, you know, didn't know what to do, and they didn't pay the QR code, so they had to pay right there. But they had to pay through the QR code, through the app. And once they paid, the gate opened. There was no person there pushing a button. There was no person there taking any information. It was 100% automated between the app and the license plate reader that operated the gate in real time. Now, if things such as boots, and this is no idea, I'm going to claim the patent on this, even if it's just a public patent. But what if a boot had wheels and a motor where it could be automated like a little, you know, like a little robot, and just like, okay, that car's been here over 12 hours. I'm going to parking space P12 and boot that vehicle. And then you don't get your vehicle until you get back on the app and you pay the booting fee, the parking charge, plus whatever administrative fees and penalties and fines. And that's where I was Thursday. Now imagine that on a bigger scale. And again, this is through third party grabbing this information. This is where we're at today, right now. That's what I experienced. Me, myself, I wasn't even looking for it. I was like, what? Okay, that's what that was. That was a fully automated parking garage. That's the future. That's what it's going to look like. Wait till they have an Android come and, you know, like waiting on you. About time you got here. You ready to pay this fine? You want the car back, right? You have to go through me. Gonna have to go through me. Let me go grab that video for you again.
Now to the White
We already went to the White House.
Down the abyss.
The Trump administration is pushing.
Yeah, we already been there. All right, we already talked to Elon. Right there. That's whoops. Went too far. I'll just stop right there. So let me get my happy ass out of here. Give you a black background. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Don't blame me, blame StreamYard.
Google, the companies whose chatbots you use. So I think the announcement yesterday is kind of a joining of forces between Silicon Valley and the government. And there's certainly a lot of chummy relationships between people in the White House. David Sachs has a very close relationship. A lot of these people were former venture capitalists in Silicon Valley. So I think there's going to be a lot more public-private partnerships. And that's one of the most exciting parts of the order, is it explicitly said that within 90 days, the Secretary of Energy, who's kind of overseeing all this, has to identify some of those opportunities for further public-private collaboration.
It is
emergency. Emergency. Please remain calm and clear the building.
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd, but the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before. And this next sentence is a quote. This is serious shit, Linda, but you're never going to hear about this in the news. The robotics company has too much to lose, and governments want IA robot soldiers, close quote. I immediately thought of what happened the month before at the July 15, 2017 National Governors Association meeting in Providence, Rhode Island. 30 governors gathered at the final session to hear Elon Musk, CEO and founder of Tesla and SpaceX, talk about the future with Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe. Musk repeated a warning that he has been making for some time, that the development of robots, androids, and cyborgs with human-like artificial intelligence is, quote, a fundamental risk to the existence of human civilization, close quote. And here now is an excerpt from what Elon Musk told the governors.
Are robots going to take our jobs, everybody's jobs in the future? Or how much do you see artificial intelligence coming into the workplace?
Well, first of all, I think on the artificial intelligence front, I have exposure to the very most cutting edge AI, and I think people should be really concerned about it. I keep sounding the alarm bell, but until people see like robots going down the street killing people, like they don't know how to react.
It's on you to protect yourself. That's why we trust.
Should be really concerned about AI. AI is a rare case where I think we need to be proactive in regulation instead of reactive. Because I think by the time we're reactive in AI regulation, it's too late. AI is a fundamental risk to the existence of human civilization. In a way that car accidents, airplane crashes, faulty drugs, or bad food were not. They were harmful to a set of individuals within society, of course, but they were not harmful to society as a whole. AI is a fundamental existential risk for human civilization, and I don't think people fully appreciate that.
Elon Musk, did any of you see his rocket launch? I mean, this guy has a lot of intelligence and he has a lot of guts. And when he makes a warning like this, as he's been making for the last 12 months, I think the entire planet should take Elon Musk very seriously. By August 21st, the Washington Post headlined, Elon Musk calls for ban on killer robots before weapons of terror are unleashed. And I immediately thought he knows about what happened in the robotics company in Japan. Quote, Tesla chief executive Elon Musk says that artificial intelligence is more of a risk to the world than is North Korea, offering humanity a stark warning about the perilous rise of autonomous machines. Now the tech billionaire has joined more than 100 robotic and artificial intelligence experts, calling on the United Nations to ban one of the deadliest forms of such machines, autonomous weapons, close quote. In an open letter to the United Nations Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons, Elon Musk and 116 other AI intelligence experts, including Apple's Alphabet, wrote, lethal autonomous weapons threaten to become the third revolution in warfare. Once developed, they will permit armed conflict to be fought at a scale greater than ever and at time scales faster than humans can comprehend. These can be weapons of terror, weapons that despots and terrorists use against innocent populations, and weapons hacked to behave in undesirable ways. We do not have long to act. Once this Pandora's box is opened, it will be hard to close. We therefore implore the high contracting parties, meaning in the UN, to find a way to protect us all from these dangers, close quote. 30 nation representatives signed the open letter, including China, Israel, Russia, Britain, South Korea, and France. And then it was made public in an international AI conference in Melbourne, Australia. The next day, on August 22nd, 2017, the UK Telegraph headlined, quote, hackers turn family robots into weapons and spying tools, close quote. Recently, security researchers at the large cybersecurity global corporation IOA Active in Seattle, Washington, demonstrated how company technicians hacked into an IO Active robot and turned it into a domestic spy that would also do violence on command, and demonstrated with a screwdriver wielding home helper robot. What they did in the demonstration, you're seeing a freeze frame, and it's the right side, the robot has coming out attached to it a screwdriver, and they were able to just change the coding just a little bit in the software, and this robot began attacking with the screwdriver.
Enabling application and use, whether you're in healthcare, you're in entertainment, manufacturing, self-driving cars, transportation. Each one of these industries have AIs that deeply affect them, and these are the 5-layer stack.
Jensen Huang, CEO, co-founder, NVIDIA, speaking. Please listen to every word this gentleman is saying. Pay attention. Pay attention to the current audience they already have access to. The reason I'm bringing this up is NVIDIA is one of the 6 companies that just merged together, and it is becoming one homogeneous AI entity with all these different companies. And when I went to eat at Papado's earlier with Christine, her husband, and her sister, I was breaking all of it down as the digital twins, digital omniverses, digital DNA, and exactly what that is, because I understand most people cannot comprehend exactly what that is. But everything you do in reality is mirrored real time in the digital omniverse through your digital twin and your digital DNA. What does your digital DNA look like, Floyd? Well, those are devices that read different things. For one, it could be your Comcast Xfinity router, because your router has basically a radar. It's continuously taking images of 3D images of your house, your neighbor's house, anywhere it can reach, because to explain to her what that looked like, I had to open up my phone. I had to show her all the apps that were on my phone. Then I went to my settings and I opened up the Wi-Fi and I showed her, you see all these Wi-Fi devices? She goes, yeah. I said, well, my device is talking to every one of them. Then I opened up the Bluetooth. Same thing. But what really blew her away, and I tell everybody this, your television is the biggest spy device you have. Why? Because my phone was talking to the televisions in Papados. All my data was being transferred real time through that television into their database so they could store it. That's what your digital DNA and a digital twin and a digital omniverse looks like. Everything's in real time. I would gather to say that probably every person in that restaurant, save the toddlers and infants, maybe even some children, all retained a smart device on their person. Digital DNA. Absolutely. So please pay attention to what the leader in the world technology of computer chips, when this man talks, you should listen to every word he says.
NVIDIA is at the lower level, the platform level. The reason why we say that we're an AI company that works with every single AI company in the world is because we're the platform by which we are able to work with all of these technology companies and all these application companies across all these industries. And so that is a platform that we created. The moat that people describe, not so much a moat, but basically the language by which all of these different applications and these different technologies speak to us is an architecture we invented 25 years ago called CUDA. And on top of that CUDA library is a whole bunch of algorithms that we invented over the years. And that is basically NVIDIA's platform. In the end, we don't build self-driving cars, but we work with every single self-driving car company in the world. In the end, we don't discover drugs, but we just have, we work with every single drug discovery company in the world. We're the platform by which they build their things. We're a platform company.
I think I had a half a dozen young kids come up to me today saying NVIDIA gave them a better gaming experience. I mean, all your
before we invented the AI industry, the first industry we created is the modern gaming industry. Yeah, yeah. You don't know this. I'm very proud of this. NVIDIA is the world's largest gaming platform.
Yeah,
and you probably didn't know that.
And that's how most of the kids were talking to me about that today. I want to see it.
300 million active users.
Yeah.
300 million active users, from teenagers to the 40-plus-year-old couch surfing virgins.
100 million of them, Nintendo Switch. Yeah, NVIDIA's in that.
Okay, so let me ask you, you said something recently that was quite provocative. You said that China was winning the AI race, the AI competition. I know that you've got a powerful, competitor in Huawei, and Huawei has a lot of advantages you don't have. Why don't you describe this competition? Are we really losing?
It was a very good headline.
It was a great headline, yeah.
And it apparently caught up a lot of attention. As you know, with headlines, the disclaimer part, the foundation part was left out of the headline. But the way to think about that is, let me just handicap it right now. If you look at AI and go back to the first thing that we said, AI is a 5-layer cake. Let's just always simplify. It's not quite this simplistic, but let's simplify AI into a 5-layer cake. Energy, chips, infrastructure, models, and applications. Okay, and let's handicap it across from bottom to top. At the lowest level, energy. China has twice the amount of energy we have as a nation.
I want to ask about that.
Twice as much energy as we have as a nation, and
I speeded this up a little bit because these two gentlemen talk so slow.
Our economy is larger than theirs. Makes no sense to me. We also know that one of the most important initiatives, one of the most important policies of this administration, and it was the first thing that President Trump said to me when we met, is, listen, we need to reindustrialize America. We need to onshore manufacturing again. We need to help America make things again. It's going to create jobs. That part of the economy has been offshored and completely gutted the United States. We need to bring that back, and he needs my help to do so. And so that entire sector of the economy is missing. And however, without energy, how do we build chip plants? computer system plants. And these AI data centers, we call them AI factories. We're building simultaneously 3 different types of factories in the United States. Chip factories, supercomputer factories, and AI factories. They all require energy, every single one of them. And so on the one hand, we want to reindustrialize the United States. How do you do that without energy? And so the fact that we vilified energy for so long, President Trump sticking his neck out and taking it on the chin and helping the country realize that energy is necessary for our growth is one of the greatest things he's done right off the bat. And so now, at the energy level, back to that stack, we're 50%, and they're growing straight up. We're kind of flat right now. And so, number 1, energy. Number 2, chips. We're generations ahead. We are generations ahead on chips, and I think everybody recognizes that. Number 3, infrastructure. If you want to build a data center here in the United States, from breaking ground to standing up a AI supercomputer is probably about 3 years. They can build a hospital in a weekend. That's a real challenge. And so at the infrastructure layer, their velocity of building things, because they are builders, their velocity of building things is extraordinarily high. Now, really quickly on chips, we're several generations ahead, but don't be complacent. Remember, semiconductors is a manufacturing process. Anybody who thinks China can't manufacture is missing a big idea.
But China discounts energy costs for a chip company by 50%.
That's right.
They provide free transportation for employees to come out to the factory.
That's right.
I mean, you can't do that. I mean,
our energy cost is more expensive than theirs in the first place.
Absolutely.
And then they discounted 50%. And so we're probably call it 4 to 8 times the cost.
So tell me, how do you feel about this great competition with China? I mean, the government is putting enormous resources underneath their champion. We don't do that in this country. How do you feel about that?
Well, before I get there, don't let me not answer that question. I'm dying to answer it. But let me handicap the next 2 layers. The model layer. United States frontier models, our frontier models are unquestionably world-class. We are probably, call it 6 months ahead. However, out of the 1.4 million models, most of them are open source. China is way ahead on open source. Now, the reason why open source is so important is because without open source, startups can't thrive, university researchers can't do research, you can't teach AI, scientists can't use AI. Basically, all of the industry around your economy have no ability to fundamentally advance themselves unless you have open source. Without Linux, where would we be? Without Kubernetes, without PyTorch, all of these different types of technologies that made AI thrive are all open source. They are well ahead of us on open source. And then the layer above that, applications. If you were to do a poll of their society and ours, and you ask them, is AI likely to do more good than harm? They're going to say, in their case, 80% would say AI will do more good than harm. In our case, it'd be the other way around. And so that tells you something that's very, very important. Socially, we need to be careful not to describe AI in these science fiction movie ways of describing AI and causing people so much concern. We want to be concerned, but we also want to be practical. AI is about automation. And that area, I think that we need to be careful not to fall behind in the application and the diffusion of AI, because in the end, whoever applies the technology first and most wins that industrial revolution. As you know, electricity was invented in the UK, but the United States applied it faster, more broadly, and as a result, look where we are. And so we have to be a little mindful. And so anyways, I just handicapped that stack, okay? Yeah. And I don't think it's important when you're looking at AI, not to see it as a holistic thing. It's really not about ChatGPT versus DeepSeek. You have to look at it across all of the stacks and across all of the industries. Does that make sense? It's a little bit more complicated than one simple answer.
But do you feel you have a level playing field up against China putting their resources under Huawei?
First of all, America's technology industry, just as our financial services industry, our military, our technology industry, we can all agree, are the mightiest in the world. I am part of one of the mightiest industries anyone in history has ever seen. No. We have, going toe-to-toe against anyone, the American technology industry has nothing to fear. We are mighty, we're fast, we're inventive, we'll take anybody on. However, we can't concede the market to them. As you know, at the moment, NVIDIA has been banned from going to China. Not to mention, China has banned NVIDIA going to China. And so I think we're the first company in history that has been banned on both sides. Whoever banned us going to China, them and China agree that NVIDIA should not go to. Now, of course, I'm being a little cute here, and I'll be a little bit more nuanced here in a second. But at the moment, we're simply not competing in China. Now, what's going on? We have conceded essentially the second largest AI market, the second largest technology market in the world.
I know.
China it's not, somebody has said to me, well, yeah, okay, well, we're not in China, but we'll grow somewhere else. You're not going to replace China. It's just as the world wanting to sell to America and they want to export to America. If they don't export to America, you're not going to replace the United States. We are singular in the world. We are absolutely singular. And so in the case of China, we shouldn't concede the entire market to them. They're formidable, but conceding that entire market, we ought to go compete for it. Having said that, we should also acknowledge that Huawei is one of the most formidable technology companies the world has ever seen. They deserve, although they have a lot of support, whatever support they have, they deserve all of the respect that everybody ought to give them. We compete with this company. They're formidable. They're agile. They move incredibly fast. We said if the United States was not in China, China's AI industry would be set back.
Yeah.
Absolutely has not happened. As a result, their semiconductor industry has double. You know, the semiconductor industry in the West, around the world, is growing at 20-30% per year. Growing 20-30% per year compounded versus doubling every year compounded doesn't take long to catch up.
But, you know, they're starting on second base and we're just going up to the batter's box. You know, they've got a real advantage. And that means we need to think about this. Can I ask you, we, at the G20 summit, Li Keqiang, you know, the premier was there and he was offering opportunities for countries to be participants with China on AI. We didn't even send a delegation. It doesn't feel like we're in the game.
They're smart about technology proliferation.
Yeah.
If we use 5G as an example, they realize 5G is technology that's also a platform, because on top of 5G, you build all kinds of services on top of it. Well, if you get there first, wherever you get first, if you get there first, just as NVIDIA, I was there 25 years first. And so I had, you know, for a long time, nobody paid me any never mind. So I had lots and lots of time to build up all these ecosystems and applications and relationships and ecosystems. And I connected all this stuff together in all these different fields of industry. I had 25 years to do it. In the case of Huawei with 5G, they were completely, through policy, completely isolated, people thought, in China. So they had 1 billion phone users all to themselves. It gave them the opportunity to grow scale. They exported the technology to all of the countries of Belt and Road, and now there's AI Belt and Road. And so they'll definitely diffuse the Chinese technology as quickly as possible, because they understand that the sooner you get there, the sooner you build the ecosystem on top, the sooner you become you become essential part, a dependent part of that ecosystem.
Tell me about the Chinese ecosystem they're trying to create. Obviously, it's deep and it's robust, and that it has a physical as well as a technological and economic dimension. How do you look at that?
Take a step back again. Remember, I think it's like 9 out of the 10 top science and technology schools in the world are now in China. They lead in science and technology. Like 9 out of the 10 top science and technology schools in the world are now in China. They lead in science and technology in many different fields. This has completely flipped in the last half to a decade. We used to.
Let me tell you, folks, all you have to do is go to Rice University right here in my own backyard of Houston, Texas, and look at some of the science that's going on with their research. And to imagine that that school, it's not a top 10 school in that field, that China is head and shoulders above us.
To lead most of them, now they lead most of them. They have a large population of highly qualified students. Absolutely. Number one. Number two, 50% of the world's AI researchers are Chinese. Third, 70%.
I want you to back that up. 50% of all AI researchers are Chinese. All right. The United States is not the other 50%. The other 50% is the rest of the world. Almost divide that by 200, basically. I'm sure we have the lion's share of that 50%, but we're not this full spectrum dominance that Donald Trump wants.
Of last year's AI patents are published by China. The ecosystem of AI in China is vibrant, rich, incredibly innovative. They work incredibly hard. This is a country with an enormous might. So that is the ecosystem of software developers. Now, that layer, as I just mentioned, the model and the application layer. All of these scientists, they're sitting at the model and the application layer. And now they're going to take that
application layer. What do you have on your phone?
That capability, because the United States is no longer participating in China. We've left China. We're evacuated that market. We've conceded that market. And so now they've got to go build their own. So using these AI researchers, all of these incredible computer scientists that they have, their richness of software capability, and they're going to go build their own complete stack. Once they build that entire complete stack, they'll
once they build it, they're not there yet. One reason is because they do not get the super chips from NVIDIA. Those are banned, as he explained. But they do get low-level NVIDIA chips. Absolutely, they do. And don't think that they haven't counterfeited a super chip yet. I'm sure they have. Industrial espionage, folks. It's in the universities, the colleges, the corporate and private research labs.
Exported as quickly as you can imagine. And this is the world what we will find someday if we don't activate.
We'll be buyers, not sellers.
That's right.
We'll be buyers, not sellers. And you know what happens if you can't afford something.
Let me ask you now, you're in Washington, D.C. I know you don't look forward to those opportunities, but we're...
It's my only opportunity to wear a suit.
And a tie. But let me ask, because, you know, we're involved in something I've not seen before in my 45 years here. We've delved into industrial policy. I always thought industrial policy was something that we shouldn't be doing in this country. Now, the Biden administration decided that they would define what they would allow you to sell. And they have this thing that they call diffusion that they were trying to manage. Now you get the Trump administration. They don't have that, but they want a golden share and they want a % of the cut, you know, on how you're doing business. Tell me about how you look at this.
All right. This is what I call Operation Warp Speed 2. They've given it various names. One of them would be the Stargate AI project or Stargate LLC, which is the OpenAI, Sunbank, and Oracle, among others. So this is what they're talking about. Now, the Trump administration, he just signed the executive order again, because they were trying to put it into the bill, make it a law. That wasn't going to fly, where states' authority to regulate AI would be censored by the federal government for 10 years. Well, that got washed out of that bill. Remember? The big, beautiful bill. Bill. What do you mean I'm getting a bill? Bill? We don't need no stinking bills. We don't pay bills around here. We're homeless, right? Isn't that how that worked? Well, that bill's coming due, folks. Trust me on that. So instead of doing all that, it is a green light. We're going to cut the red tape. We're going to uniform all the laws. We're going to create an entity at the Department of Justice and we will have what's called, quote, one rule, close quote. And they will have that little division within the Department of Justice that will do nothing but litigate to make sure that the green light stays on with AI. And if you don't believe me, how prescient this matter is to national security, which they're going to get into, because these are the three things that AI will take over as the New World Order: national security, a disaster, national security, a disaster. I'll think of the third one in a minute here. I'm thinking ahead of myself. Oh, convenience. You remember how convenient it was to park Thursday when I went to the concert? Because I just pulled in. I didn't have to even roll down my window and take a ticket. Just pulled in, parked. Of course, I'm already looking at my phone anyway, right? I'm getting ready to get on the elevator. Well, let me take this picture, open up this website. Boom. I'm already a subscriber, just hit pay, or it could be just totally automated. I don't know. I didn't even go that far. I didn't even sign up, not even download the app. That's definitely a one-time thing for me, especially after I egressed the garage. But that was, the experience. So this is what we're talking about.
Industrial policy that we have in Washington.
Industrial policy. Listen to Carrie carefully, because this is where the United States government, through military, national security, intelligence, are creating third-party entities as government surveillance. AI will be adopted by the federal government, and it'll eventually take over. But what they're doing is allowing these companies to monopolize, to merge, to capitalize on the marketplace because it's full spectrum dominance. The United States of America must be the preeminent alpha AI in the world. End of story. Nothing's in their way. Nothing's going to stop them. That's the agenda of Donald Trump administration. And as I said, over and over and over, the New World Order is an all-seeing capital I, AI, just like it is on the pyramid for the Illuminati logo, AI, just like it is on the back of the dollar bill, AI. They've been telling you all along, it's here. Now, today. And what I'm trying to do to you is bring to you as much factual evidence from their own mouths telling you what's coming, what they're doing. You don't believe me? Just go watch some movies. They tell you everything in the movies. It gets to be surreal in hindsight. Like, oh, I saw that movie. Wow, that's real? Yes. Apparently, there's nothing new under the sun. It's all a remake of 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 a remake. That's why Hollywood's so shitty now. There's nothing new under the sun.
I do agree that industrial policy should intervene when a dramatic action needs to be taken. I also would say that President Trump walked into a situation where dramatic actions needed to be taken.
Dramatic actions, okay? What he's telling you is a catastrophe, national security, or convenience. Take your pick. And just apply one of those three or all three or a combination as he progresses through this interview.
The first dramatic action that needed to be taken is to reverse the mistakes that have been made in energy growth over the course of the last decade. we have done our country a
That would be back to 2015. So who took over? 2016 to 2020? Oh, that was the Trump administration. Okay. So apparently that was a failed energy policy. Because then we went through Biden. We're in our first year of Trump. So there you have it. Obama last year, Trump's first full term, Biden's full term, Trump's first year.
great disservice. There are no new industries you can grow without energy.
No, electricity.
That's right. We need electricity because otherwise, sure, we could all be in the services industry. And as you know, the service industry only needs calories. But manufacturing industry needs electricity. And so we need energy, number one. Number two, we do need to, if we want to fix our social issues, domestic social issues, we have to create prosperity, not just for people with PhDs and college degrees. We have to create prosperity for every segment of the economy. And so the largest segment of the economy is manufacturing, and we've offshored that for too long, for 20 years. We got to bring that back, and we have the ability to do so. And this AI industrial revolution, this flashpoint, is precisely when we should do it, because it allows us. It created a company called NVIDIA, made it possible for us to have such a large ecosystem of suppliers. We can encourage them to partner with us. We can encourage Taiwan to partner with us to help us reindustrialize the United States, and they've done so with great support. Taiwan really needs to have some acknowledgement for the incredible effort that they're putting in place to help us reindustrialize the United States.
Remember when I put out the video, don't sleep on Taiwan? Listen, folks, you may not realize who this gentleman is. He's one of the most powerful men in the world. You better believe it. Okay. I've listened to an interview with him. You know, he says he's been grinding this out for 25 years. And he talks about owning Ferraris like, you know, I don't even know anybody who owns cars like that. Apparently, he's owned a lot of Ferraris to be able to have a discussion because, yeah, that would be like people who, you know, they collect like Mustangs or Camaros and have owned a lot of them and can tell you everything about them.
If not for the work that they're doing, the work that NVIDIA has done in Arizona wouldn't have made the progress it has. Oh. I recently gave a congratulations speech at TSMC in Arizona, and when I looked out into the audience, it was 2/3 Taiwanese and 1/3 American. Arizona is practically, well, the quality of Taiwanese food in Arizona, let me just put it out. The quality of Taiwanese food in Arizona has increased tremendously. Okay, you want to get a bowl of beef noodle soup, you're gonna do just fine. But all these young families from Taiwan came to help us stand up our factories. And so we should acknowledge that. And South Korea helping us stand up our memory manufacturing. We should acknowledge that. The companies Foxconn, Wistron, Amkor, Spill helping us set up systems manufacturing. They came from Taiwan. Really important. And so one, if not for the fact, the second industrial policy is to reindustrialize the United States. That I think is a fantastic initiative. And I'm all behind that. I was probably the first CEO to jump behind that and take advantage of NVIDIA's capabilities in this flashpoint of AI industrial revolution to help bring all of that supply chain. I committed to my customers, my partners, that we're going to build in this administration within President Trump's term, $500 billion of AI supercomputers. And so that's the second part, energy growth, reindustrializing the United States. The third part that I think required a fair amount of discussion to help policymakers understand that technology leadership, American technology leadership, and American national security goes hand in hand. Our nation's extraordinary technology industry is part of our national security.
Would you like me to have him repeat that?
The fact that we have our technology all over the world, that the world relies on to build their industries, their ecosystem, their economies, is an advantage for the United States. It's a strength of the United States. It helps keep the United States safe when everybody works with us.
Let me build on that.
Yeah.
I think national security, there are two dimensions of national security. And I differentiate small case and large case. Small case, national security, small n, small s. I think that's, aircraft carriers and bombers and divisions and training programs. Capital national security, NS, is the dynamism of your economy, the productivity of your industry, the creativity of your ideas industry, the sense of fairness in your judicial system. You are here, you benefit from that larger case, but you're building that larger national security industry. Tell us how you think about your role on national security.
I told you how they're going to roll it in. Disasters, convenience, and national security. And people are going to surrender their humanity for convenience. And remember when I told you, children born from 2020 on are going to be 100% digital. Tesla now has 100% automated taxis on the road. No supervisor, no Tesla personnel, 100% autonomous. Wait till they come out with 3D food printers and no one will need to go grocery shopping. Just everything will be delivered. You put the packets in the food printer and hey, your 3-year-old, all they got to do is sign into the app, push the little peanut butter and jelly icon, grape jelly, crunchy peanut butter, the crust cut off the bread, cut diagonally in half. Bloop. There you go, folks. They're not going to know how to cook, how to read, how to write. They're going to be 100% reliant on AI for everything.
Number one, NVIDIA was birthed in the United States. We are a proud American company. We're inventive, we're vibrant, we're at the center of the single most important industrial revolution in human history. This is an industrial revolution in every single way as important as electricity. We are going to impact every single industry, every single company. Every country will build it, every company will use it. We export American technology wherever the United States would like us to export the American technology. This is an extraordinary opportunity for us to make a substantial contribution to our national security. We also know that national security and economic prosperity go hand in hand. The wealthier our nation, the more we can fund the mightiest military on the planet. And I do believe that it is the case where, because of this new industrial revolution that we've started, we are creating new factories in America. We're creating new jobs in America. And somebody recently told me that we contributed more to economic growth singularly than just about any company in the world today to the American economy. And I believe that that's probably true. And the reason for that is NVIDIA is a multi-$100 billion company.
Multi-$100 billion company. Okay, this company's almost has $1 trillion valuation. It will most likely be the first $1 trillion company. As you said, as he said, they'll be part of everything. The all-seeing eye.
Supporting multi-$100 billion companies going after trillion dollars of industry. And so the economic prosperity, the technology leadership, unquestionable. The economic prosperity that we can contribute to, unquestionable. Now the question then becomes, how do we think through the diffusion of, the export of, the proliferation of American technologies and standards?
The $64,000 question. Let's see what one of the most intelligent, powerful men in the world has to say.
We should, of course, number one, safeguard our national security, the little n, little s.
which means build up our military infrastructure. More ships, more planes, more tanks, more munitions, more firepower, more personnel, higher training, more use of technology. Why? For those who follow me, who are the world's police? The frickin' United States of America.
Ensure that adversaries don't have access to sensitive technology or advanced technology that we don't need them to have access to.
Right.
We should, number two, ensure that American companies, American technology companies, through partnership with us, have the benefit of the best and first. But then after that, after number one and number two, we should also proliferate American technology standards, compete around the world, fuel this flywheel of funding our R&D so that we can continue to be the mightiest technology industry in the world, so that we can fund the mightiest military in the world. And all of that, I think, goes hand in hand.
In other AI news this week, OpenAI and Disney announced a landmark 3-year partnership that makes Disney the first major studio to officially license its IP to an AI video platform. Backed by a $1 billion equity investment and additional warrants, the deal gives Sora and ChatGPT images controlled access to over 200 characters, costumes, and locations across Disney, Marvel, Pixar, and Star Wars.
Did you hear that? AI now has access to all of those characters. I can't imagine what they're going to do with that.
Starting in early 2026, users will be able to generate short, fan-prompted videos and images with curated content even appearing on Disney.
I just want y'all to read that. Make sure y'all can read it.
Plus. Importantly, the agreement excludes actor likenesses and voices, enforces age-based access rules, and includes strict safeguards against harmful or illegal outputs. Disney will also integrate ChatGPT and Sora APIs into its internal tools and Disney Plus, turning one of the world's largest IP libraries into a licensed AI-native ecosystem. This deal is widely seen as a test case for how generative AI and major rights holders can coexist without constant legal conflict. Meanwhile,
Y'all see how AI is just like cutting through all this red tape and it's becoming one big homogeneous entity?
Mistral AI doubled down on open source with the release of DevStral 2, a new family of coding-focused models. The flagship DevStral 2 weighs in at 123 billion parameters, with a massive 256K context window, while DevStral Small 2 offers a 24.
That was supposed to be edited out. I don't know why it's still there. Yep. Hang on, let me get it.
There 123 billion parameters, with a massive 256K context window, while DevStral Small 2 offers a 24B parameter alternative that can run locally on consumer hardware. DevStral 2 scored 72.2% on SWE Bench Verified, putting it among the top-performing open-weight coding models, while remaining significantly more cost-efficient than proprietary competitors. The models are designed for real-world software engineering tasks like multi-file refactoring, dependency tracking.
I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to put that up, but it's supposed to be edited out, and for some reason it didn't get edited.
Retries. Mistral also introduced the Vibe CLI, a command.
Meg, before I let you go, I want to talk about a new tourism proposal. The Trump administration says they plan to require all foreign tourists to provide their social media histories when trying to enter the country. How unprecedented is this? And are there any concerns when it comes to privacy, free speech?
Yeah, so it's a pretty unusual move, but it also is in line with other moves that the administration has made in recent months targeting social media. So, for example, back in June, the State Department had said that it would require people who are applying for certain types of visas to make their social media public. Now, that move had generated a whole lot of controversy. I want to read you a little bit about what an advocacy group had to say about that at the time. It's called the Electronic.
Hold on. Isn't that kind of like a social credit score? Right?
Frontier Foundation, and they called it, quote, a dangerous push to surveil and suppress foreign students' social media activity. So what happens next in this case is that there's going to be a 60-day public comment period where people can weigh in on this proposal. Something I also wanted to note is that this could potentially have a big impact next year as well. That's because the U.S. is going to be hosting FIFA World Cup events, and that's when there are going to be a whole lot of international tourists coming here.
Yeah, absolutely. Good point there. Megan Leibowitz, thanks so much.
We thank you.
Well, do you see this coming? Do you see the whole thing, the whole narrative? You see the elements of what's coming. Because nobody's talking about this to you guys, to anybody, putting everything together so you can actually really see it. You can experience it. All you got to do is just take your device. It's so simple. Okay. You just look, see all those dang apps. There's, of course, my pretty daughter. She's more intelligent than she is pretty. Thank God. Oh, let me go settings. So go right here and you whoops. Y'all know what the little settings, little gear. You hit that one right there. My ugly mug. And then you go right here to where it says connections, right? And you hit connections. And then up here, I'm tuned into the Fear of Floyd show. Imagine that. Not me. Let me remove that. So I can, yeah, here you go. Okay. I need a bigger picture. Yay, I'm big now. All right. That's about as big as I want to be. So let me get on this side. All right. So we just hit Wi-Fi. And it's going to, yeah, you see all these? So right now, this device, through all my other devices, they're all talking through my router. What do you mean? I don't have to have a password. They're talking. They got their own language. If I want to talk to it, I got to put in the analog stuff, a password and username, all that stuff. And then you hit the Bluetooth. Same thing with the Bluetooth. And then see, it's trying to connect. And see what's pops up. 2 televisions. Televisions, I told you, they're the best spy devices you got. Because see, those 2 devices through the router are talking to, yeah, my neighbors, because, all my neighbors got smartphones. They all got Bluetooth. They all got Wi-Fi. These are always talking to each other 24/7, 365. Every application. Wow, where do we just hear that? Application. Oh, Jensen said that. Applications. That's your digital DNA. This is the frickin' system. All your devices, it's the system. What did Elon Musk say about the system? It's the Antichrist. You just heard him at the beginning of the show talk about we should be very, very, very terrified of AI. Well, guess what's coming up next, folks? If you didn't get enough AI crammed down your throat in 2025, 2026 is going to be the best yet to come, because not only will you get AI, on PEDs, performance enhancing designers, the best of the best. But you're going to get robotics. We're going to get androids, humanoids. And you're going to see people actually with their own robots. And you start seeing robots do stuff out in public. And you're going to start seeing self-driving cars and self-driving trucks. It's going to become more apparent. As I profiled, you're going to see the shopping carts, and you're just going to like put an item in there. It's going to scan it for you, and it's going to have a little pad on it, and it's going to be keeping track for you. Okay, you just put in 2 pounds of chicken at $1.49 a pound. And you just like everything's automated. So convenient, right? You didn't have to go to a point of sale system. It just did it right there. So convenient. Get it out to your car. Push the basket back. Holler at you. Convenience, folks. It's coming. It's going to be seamless. So that's what your digital DNA, digital twin, the digital omniverse, they all have them. Every corporation has a digital twin. That's anybody and everybody in social media, AI, robotics, chip factories. Talking about Oracle, Meta, Amazon, Google. I think Google controls 90% of the internet. 90%, folks. And what's their logo look like? Oh, an eye. Who'd have thunk? Right? The search engine's called Chrome. The engine that runs it's called Adreno. I'm just a moron talking to a laptop, so I don't know. Y'all put that together for me and tell me what it all adds up to. It's all a coincidence. All of it. Microsoft. That's a monopoly, right? I mean, people have a choice, but because the masses, so many people use it, it's like you don't need an adhesive bandage to cover a wound. What do you need? A Band-Aid. Well, I got chapped lips, and I want to put some petroleum jelly on here, but hand me the Vaseline. It's where a brand name becomes the name brand. So, I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know what y'all want to do because it's a terrifying time to live, because you could almost put your hand on the Bible and open it up back to Revelation and go, really, it couldn't be. Not in my lifetime. I don't know. Nobody's left a comment. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm going to say hello to everybody. Hello, Dylan Shea. How you doing? David, welcome back to the show. Northern Michigan. It's not cold up there. All the world's a stage, illusions, mesmerizing those who want to believe. It's a sad world. It is. Yes. Hello, Chad Horton. I don't know what could go wrong, right? And I understand EM, concern, AI equals dangerous wild card. Most people don't even understand what AI really is. The AI that you can use for free, the AI that you pay a subscription for, you're just a guinea pig teacher. That's all you're doing is teaching it. Their engineers program it, set it, everything up, and then everybody goes and uses it and teaches it. And that's what it's doing. So that's why I call it large language learning model. Large language learning model. An LLM. They're telling you what it's doing. It's learning. It's like being an attorney or a doctor, you know, where you practice. So anyway, yeah, the real scary shit, yeah, we're not privy to any of that. Just like as you saw in the report from Linda Moulton Howe regarding what happened in Japan, that will never make the mainstream media, much less the alternative media. So, and don't think that things like that are, you know, solo events, unicorns, because for every one of those, I guarantee you there's another one that nobody knows about because it was a clandestine lab. It was, you know, some mad scientist in his basement, Dr. Frankenstein or Dr. Moreau. I mean, you know, I hear people have loose screws and do like weird, crazy things where life is stranger than fiction. Yeah. So, yeah, AI is very concerning, and it's just appalling of what we have allowed our societal construct to deteriorate to. Where we have a currency that has hyperinflated before our eyes, where that's like, how much do they think these 11 of these? That if I take one out, just one. These are dimes, by the way. Silver dimes, 90% silver dimes. These are actually barber dimes. But these are worth $4.50 a pop. A pop. A pre-64 silver dollar is worth $42. $48.47. That's what a dollar. That's how bad it's inflated, hyperinflated. You know, if it was 3 to 1, wouldn't you get concerned? If it's 4 to 1, how about 20 to 1? Like, wouldn't that kind of get your attention? Well, it's 48.5 to 1. And it's going to continue to rise. Yeah. Because, you know, we got these other dollars. Okay. I mean, this is 10 cents. This is $1. But yet, one of these is worth a $5 now, $4.50. You just round it off, right? I mean, I'll call that hyperinflated because this is a note. This is always going to be worth $1, no matter what. It's never going to increase, as opposed to this. This is increasing. That's what we've done to our currency. So these are just nothing but fiat, promissory notes. They're only worth what somebody else will give me for them, right? That's what basically all they're for. If I have enough of them, I can go get a lap dance. Here they $50 now, 50 bucks because of inflation. No longer can you get a $20 lap dance. I don't know. I haven't been a strip bar in 6 years. Since I went and found my buddy Randy wandering around in a desolate topless bar, I was like, what the fuck happened here? Where'd everybody go? Where the dancers? Where's the clients? What's going on, bro? And the pimps euthanized it. But anyway, we're talking about currency. But anyway, that's what's going on. So they cannot keep this house of cards, this charade, to continue where, Trump seems to think he can just like give out money left and frickin' right. You're expecting some check next month, next year. I don't know where they're going to get that from. The Federal Reserve's buying back its own shit. Uh-oh. Why? Nobody wants it. Wonder why they don't want it. Well, why do you think the United States is going into Venezuela on purpose? Well, we need some more resources, so we're just going to go take it from Venezuela. And we're like, whoa, no, I'm sorry. We're going to go install this Peace Prize winner. She really won. Wink, wink, nod, nod. We're going to save the world from narco-terrorism. So no more, no more fentanyl coming in the United States. We're going to shut that shit down in Venezuela. Disaster capitalism. Oh, did I say they were going to make changes using disaster national security? Damn, Floyd. You pinned the tail on the donkey. Amazing. How'd you know that? Because people wrote books about it that you should read so you comprehend what's really going on. We're already a digital society. That's why all the banknotes, the Federal Reserve notes, they have serial numbers on them. And what happens if you just make a copy of a Hyundai on your laser printer, you take it and pass it off, and you get a knock on your door from Secret Service like, well, we got this $100 bill here. You didn't happen to make this on your printer, did you? Who me? No. Because it's their money. It's their script. And, these guys over on Wall Street and all these investment firms and hedge fund managers, we need to find a way to make more money on the money that we have. How do we do that? Well, we hypothecate it. How do we do that? Well, we create new security instruments. What are those? For example, we could create something like let's take all those mortgages and pull them all together and we'll create a mortgage-backed security. So we'll resell the mortgages that we've already bought. And then we can take that and make derivatives and make collateralized debt obligations. And then they got really creative and started creating all these weird, arcane, different types of securities. And all that did was just add more to the debt because it created a Ponzi scheme of a house of cards, what I call a house of securities. One of these days, one of them is going to poop and the whole thing's going to go. Well, that was easy. But they can't, because the United States has been so clever that they've made just almost everybody hold a little sliver of the pie. They're all shareholders in the United States of America Incorporated. And those shares are called Treasury securities. 15 and 30-year notes, right? Ding, 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 ding. Y'all catching on to the big picture of what the hell's going on? Why the hell you think we need the world police? Because we gotta maintain control of the world's economy. We have to have the Federal Reserve note. Everybody has to use it. It has to be in demand, on command, right? So how are they going to get rid of this $37 trillion debt? And mounting. They're going to go digital. We're going to have digital currency because we're already on digital currency. And even if we did, the dollar's already digital because it has a serial number. That's why it's got all this, That's why I love going to my friend's place, U.S. Coins, the Duncans. Because if you look at a note now, okay, it's got 4 50s on it, okay, on all 4 corners. It says Federal Reserve note at the top in the banner between the 2 50s. But under the 50 on this side, I wish I could show you, it has almost in microprinting. It has a capital G and then a very tiny 4 right after that. And then over here under this other 50, it has a capital, but it's in smaller font, FW. And then it has a capital G that's larger. And then after that, it has 19. Okay. And then, of course, we have the serial number, PB. Okay. Remember when they were just numerical characters? Well, now we have alphanumerical alpha. So we have PB 670-64330A. Now, I used to press license plates at one upon time. I mean, literally press license plates with an embosser. Right? Change out the keys. Yeah, the alpha numerical character keys. Yeah. Done that. Been there, done that. So I understand how this works. And when I see alphanumeric alpha characters, there's a whole shit ton of these. A lot. So below that, it has B2. And of course, it's got a serial number over on the other side. And that's it, besides Series 2017A. But that's all the identification. But it has all these different numbers all over it. So those numbers have little meanings, right? And here on the back, it has 17 over here, right there where my thumb is. And currency used to not have all that on there. Now it does. So those are Federal Reserve notes, right? And that's what we're up against. And this is what the world economy looks like. So all these other countries are really shareholders in the United States Incorporated. Don't think that they're not. And now they really don't really like what's going on because, Trump's sanctioning, unsanctioning, whatever. Just like what happened in Syria. I mean, the president, wherever he is in Syria, that dude was a terrorist. And Trump welcomed him with open arms. And okay, all right. Well, maybe he's CIA trained. Maybe. Did you say that out loud, Floyd? No. The United States would never do anything like that. They'd never put a despot in as a ruler in another country. But now you understand why national security is such an important issue with all capital and lowercase national security, and why it's the number one issue, and why it will not be stopped. It will be Donald Trump's legacy. That's what he wants it to be. He was hoping that Operation Warp Speed would be his legacy, that it would have been such a massive success that he would just been enamored with that for the rest of his life. and live long ever after. But of course, we all know what a fiasco that turned out to be. That will be the gift that keeps on giving, in which he has yet to take responsibility nor hold anyone accountable for such an atrocity upon humanity. I don't know. Seems like somebody stand up, take accountability, and hold people accountable. That would probably be worthy of a Nobel Peace Prize, wouldn't you think? I don't know anything. I'm just some ignorant fool on a Sunday night talking to his laptop. I have nothing else to do. I'll say a couple more comments. What you got over here, David? Every secret is hidden in books. The ignorant shall perish for their lack of knowledge. And only those people with eyes to see and ears to hear shall preserve. I would agree with that. But not only should they have eyes to see and ears to hear, but they should have the courage to do everything that they can to extract themselves from the matrix and go reestablish a society to re-inhabit the world as it should be. Because there's only one way out, folks, and I keep trying to explain this to people, and I wish it would happen much faster. And I was hoping that I could make it happen much faster. So I got this crazy ideation that I'll discuss here in a second. Let me go through the comments here. The dollar has more value than you think. Issue date, serial number, signed, sealed. How much it's worth is the time and circulation to collect annuity for the people's consideration. Okay. You go over to some of these other countries and the dollar ain't worth jack shit. All you got to do is just go ask the CIA and anybody who was in special forces or anybody that was over in Afghanistan. Where literally they had saran wrap bricks, $100 bills that, were worthless. Now, if they had some goats, some young prostitutable children, probably could have got a long way. I'm just saying, because, in Iraq, you can marry, a 12-year-old girl? It's just like no problem. Nobody has an issue with that. That's a rough explanation. Only ones that I know that are worth more are the ones that are like in my buddy's shop and are graded. You can go in there and, pay about $15,000 for a $1,000 bill. So I don't know where the world's going. I don't know how fast it's going to get there. All I know is I don't want to be a part of a digital society where everything that you do is monitored, regulated, licensed, governed, whatever you want to call it. Because I would think in my community, I'm talking to a lot of people who probably, at one time tried to experience self-governance, whatever that looks like for you, whether you're in an assembly or a membership association, a group, whatever. That don't want to get caught up in these 15-minute cities and all the digital aspect of life, where you can go, what you can watch, where you can park, how long you can park. That's not how I want to live, I want to be free. I want to enjoy nature. I want to share my wisdom and knowledge and experience with other people. I want to educate children, give them real skills, create a real oasis a utopia. So my cousin was going to pick up some land and ended up not getting that deal. And things happened with them, and that's a wash. So I was contacted with some other people, and it's just been on my mind that it's something that should happen. And if it doesn't happen, because I don't see anybody else doing it, so I'm going to try to make it happen. Goddamn, like I don't have enough fucking shit to do. But it's like it's a passion. I don't know. I can't let it go. So I'm going to develop a business plan. I've already printed it out. I handed it to somebody who has already owned a trailer park. So they're familiar with the kind of understanding of the machinations, but it would be a piece of property that would either have an existing water source or water body, or the ability to create one. It would have another structure that would, contain the processing, walk-in freezer, barn, root cellar, everything that you need. Then in the middle of the property, you'd have a big community center where everybody'd gather. We'd have meetings, theater, so you can watch movies. And then behind that, you'd have 3 separate housing units for families. And you'd have room where you could expand if you wanted to. They would all be, there's a company here in Houston that makes prefab homes. And you can buy different ones, and they're just like, cookie cutter drop in. So what I'm looking for is a 9-month timeline from the time that pick up the property, time it's completely done, 9 months. It'd be a group of people who come in, and there's several terms, but I haven't really latched on to one. I don't even know what. I could probably create a new term. But a community of these people who go together to create what I kind of envision like a real estate investment trust, where everybody pulls in, it's all under contract, everything, will be under a trust or LLC, however that wants to be set up. It can go many different directions. But once it's built, so after that 9 months, the next 3 months, it's being marketed, and we're looking for another property to go emulate what we just did. But during that 9 months, we'll bring on apprentices to train them in everything that we're doing. And this is, this one. Basically, I'm just going to give you a brief outline. 9-month accelerated build timeline. Month 1, land and regulatory lock. Get everything that you need for the land. Deliverables, purchase 10 to 20 acres, survey, soil tests. Get that through the county extension agent. Pre-approved site plan template. Utility strategy finalized, how all the utilities are going to be laid out, because it's going to be off-grid. Months 1 through 2, infrastructure first, parallel work, clearing, grading, pond excavation, road and pad prep, well drilling, septic installs, underground electrical conduit, battery and inverter room shell, mobile office install becomes command center, permitting HQ, training classroom. By the end of month 2, land is drivable, watered, powered, and zoned. Then in month 2 and 3, this is probably going to bring on more people. That would be the temporary housing and crew deployment. Install either the 8, actually it'd be not 8, but it would be 6. I put 8 here to initialize. But it'd be, they were supposed to be temporary. 8 mobile homes, solar arrays, compost toilets if allowed, central kitchen trailer, no construction assets, crew composition, core paid professionals, electric, plumbing, heavy equipment, apprentices, housing and compensation, supervisors with authority. We'd be doing most of the work ourselves. For those, I don't think because of the rural aspect of the whole piece of property, I want to be far out. I want to be like right next to something. Anyway, months 3 to 6, permanent structures, critical path, container homes, 6 unit, prefabricated, crane set, utility plugins, minimal customization. That's why I was going to look at these already prefabbed houses that are hurricane tornado proof. That way you can just repeat it, and I can have them custom built if I built enough of them or do a contract. Anyway, community center, steel frame or SIP panels, commercial kitchen rough-in, bathrooms, mechanical room, multi-use interior, barn, processing facility, pole barn, cold storage, tool-based livestock handling. All designs are fixed templates, no artistic freedom, no redesigns. This is all like, you pick it, and that's what we're going with. Month 5 through 7, permaculture and livestock drop-in. This overlaps with construction, immediate install only, no long-tail systems. Orchard saplings, berry rows, raised beds, rotational fencing, chickens, rabbits, bees, fish stocking. And 7 through 9, finished certified package, finalization, inspection, certificates of occupancy, energy certification, water system certified, documented yields, asset packaging. You create master plans, drawings, manuals, yield projection, cost breakdown, training documentation, blah, 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 blah. And for the next 3 months, set it all up, however we're going to do it, to flip it. And then we flip it. Apprenticeship structure, and I didn't design this. It's actually the first time I've read this. 9-month cycle, housing plus food plus a stipend. I don't even know what that is. I know what a stipend is, but rotating skill tracks, energy, water, construction, agriculture, operations, graduates earn certification. I don't even know about all this. It just did all this on its own. And then why it all works. Let me go to its other answer. That was the other one. And yeah, basically it must be modular, pre-engineered, repeatable, jurisdiction screened, labor discipline. So, once everything's chosen, it just all drops in place. And you just emulate it over and over and over and over. But once it's completed, then we flip it and continue to do that over and over and over. But not only are we building a community of apprentices who will become franchisees, and we'll franchise this out. So you come to learn basically, how to put all this together. I do have a horticulture degree, whether y'all know that or not. I'm also good friends with Jim Gale. I encourage everyone to go check out galtzlanding.com, and I'm going to put that over here in the chat. And that's Jim's place over in Florida that uses permaculture. And I've interviewed him, had him on the show. I need to have him on again. And he has a fabulous place, and I'd love to emulate that. And, the only way that we're going to survive is to be self-sufficient, off the grid, outside of the matrix, where you're bartering. I know that sounds terrifying and scary and, kind of survivalist and on and on and on. But, I already know you should already know some of these failed cities where, you know, the National Guard, ICE. I mean, really? That's what it takes to keep society functioning? I mean, they're not squelching crime. There's still crime, you know, active crime. It's like here in Houston, we have a failed city. I mean, you can pretty much get away with a whole bunch of shit here. It's just not in your face like it is in some of these other failed cities, but it's here. It's happening. And just for me personally, I don't want to be a part of that. I'd like to go live as free as possible. I'm just done with city life. I don't need it. If I don't ever see a concert again, well, it'll be on my own stage in my own little community of my own little family of performers that, you know, are learning how to play instruments, because that's part of the community center. They should be filled with instruments where children learn how to play. And, you know, you have your own culture where you do theater and you get up and be funny, and you do karaoke, and you just play with your community and you interact with them and learn and grow and survive and thrive. But that's just an ideation I have. So you call me a cultist. I don't know what the hell you survivalist. I don't know. I don't care. But anyway, that's just a goal, because it's not something I mean, I could do it by myself. I don't want to do it by myself. I'd rather do it with other people who are like-minded, want to do the same thing, and others that want to emulate it. It's just like people I've had on my show as guests who've taken this platform, that education, that experience, and extrapolated on it and created their own platforms. So for all of those who've emulated what I'm doing, hey, God bless you, Godspeed. I congratulate all of them and wish them all well. Absolutely. Yeah. Good, bad, or indifferent. So I want to thank you all. I don't want to keep you here any longer. Uploading the conscious. Empty of children light, the essence of the gospel, peace. Yeah, Dead Sea Scrolls predict, give instructions for that way. Yeah. It's going to be scary. Yeah. True freedom is scary to many, but faith in our earthly mother and knowledge shall set us free. Until industrialization hit, people lived free. Unless there was some kind of king or ruler. Y'all go check out Galt's Landing. This is my buddy Jim's place right here. 12 Days of Christmas Sale began on the 12th. Third day started today. $29. You can get the ebook, Run Your Trust Like a Pro. On the second day, we did Ann LaFleur's specialty trust book, the softcover book, $99. The first day, we did Ann LaFleur's On Trust softcover book, $99. That's good while supplies last, both of those. And the Run Your Trust Like a Pro is an ebook. That's the third day. That's today. Tonight, midnight, there will be another one added. At midnight, every night, until December 24th, there will be a new Christmas present for you guys to open up on your special 12 Days of Christmas sale on the FearlessFloydShow.com store. There is a new website and is promoting it, putting it out there. So y'all go check it out. It is, it's due. It's cleaner. It's a lot less cumbersome, a little bit more toned down, and I didn't create it, so all the effort and accolades go to Ann LaFleur. She did 99.9% of the heavy lifting. All I did was push some buttons and send some files. So thank you, Ann, for that. I really do appreciate it. So If you're over in Telegram, it's all over there. We're basically, she's doing a testing phase. So it is not the fearlessfloydshow.com. It's dot something else. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. Let me see if she put it in here. thefearlessfloydshow.ct.ws. That's the Fearless Floyd Show. Here, let me just copy the link. Dang, Floyd, that was easy. All right, this is a new website. Y'all can go check it out. It's the fearlessfloydshow.ct.ws, but that eventually will transfer back over to the .com. She just wants people to go check it out and critique it. So critique it. Tell her what you like, what you don't like, what you want to change, what you want to amend, what pretty pictures you'd like to add, what doodles, and yeah, there you go. And if you want to do all that, the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com, you can email me, or you can email Ann, or you can hit her up over in Telegram. So 12 Days Christmas Sale runs till the 24th. Be sure and get with that. We were originally going to have the second live class for the trust accounting class, double entry ledger accounting. It was supposed to be on the 20th, a couple days away. But because of the sale, 12 Days of Christmas, I was like, I'm going to throw that into a sale. Boom. So we bumped it to next year into January. Same thing with the final will and health directive class. Boom. Bump those to January as well. Because last year, my dumbass actually followed the real true 12 Days of Christmas, which begins not 12 days before Christmas. So this year I was like, I'm going to cheat. And I'm going to do 12 Days of Christmas, 12 days before Christmas. And every day I'm going to do a for sale. So here I am making up for last year. So that's what I'm doing. So if you're curious why I'm doing it, that's why. Because last year I shot myself in the foot trying to okay, this is what the first day of 12 Christmas means. And, that was the 25th and 26th and 27th, 28th. And it goes all the way into New Year's to ending on Epiphany Day, which is not New Year's Day either. So what are people doing after Christmas? They're cleaning up the mess, getting over the holidays, over their relatives' drama, figuring out which gifts they want to take back in exchange, taking them back and exchanging them, worried about their credit card debt that they just incurred because now everything's due 30 days after purchase, right? Get that first bill 1st of January. The last thing you're thinking about is Fearless Floyd's Christmas sale. Yeah, I felt like I took a 44 Magnum and went, boom, dude, you just blew your freaking foot off. Oops. Anyway, that's where you can go check out Ann's new website. Tell me what you think about it. Leave a comment below. Hit me up over on Telegram. I post stuff on Telegram all the time. Y'all go check that out. I'm going to take the video that I did. It'll just be a seamless video, except for that little misroll part at the end. But yeah, I'm going to post it up on my Telegram. I'm going to repost it up here so y'all don't have to listen to my happy ass. And I went over 2 hours. Damn it. I'm going to have to go edit the video. Bam. But it is what it is. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you being here, spending your Sunday night with me. And I hope you educated, learned something. If you did, be sure and like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below. And I'm going to run through everything on the end here. So if you want to bail now, God bless you. Thank you for being here, spending your time, money, and energy